It was a Tuesday night when she dropped the bomb. I was sitting at the kitchen table, scrolling through unpaid bills, my head heavy from another 12-hour day. The hum of the refrigerator was the only sound in the room when she cleared her throat and said, almost casually, I'm moving in with my new boyfriend, my boss, for financial reasons. For a moment, I thought I misheard her. The words didn't fit together. My wife, my partner of 10 years, the mother of my child, moving in with her boss. Financial reasons. I looked up slowly, waiting for her to laugh, to say it was some cruel joke. But her eyes were steady, her lips pressed into a cold, matter-of-fact line. She wasn't joking. She wasn't ashamed. Without asking me, without a conversation, without even pretending that my opinion mattered. My chest tightened, my vision blurring for a second. She had said plenty of hurtful things over the years. But this was different. This was final. And yet, as my hands trembled on the table, I forced a smile. That works out perfectly, I said softly. She blinked, clearly caught off guard. She expected shouting, begging, maybe even tears. But not calm, not agreement. Perfectly, she repeated, her tone sharp with suspicion. Yes, I said, leaning back in my chair, because now I don't have to carry the weight anymore. You've made your choice, and it saves me from pretending you were still mine. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. For the first time in years, I had the upper hand, not because I wanted it, but because she had handed it to me. The silence that followed stretched long and heavy. And in that silence, memories flooded in. Her late nights at the office, the new clothes she bought without explanation, the way she suddenly cared about her appearance before work. I had ignored it all, convincing myself I was paranoid. But deep down I had known. The betrayal wasn't sudden. It had been slow, like a rope fraying strand by strand until it finally snapped. Over the next days, the house became unbearable. She moved through it like a ghost, avoiding me, her phone glued to her hand, smiling at messages she thought I couldn't see. Every laugh, every secretive glance at the screen was a knife twisting deeper. But I didn't confront her. Not yet. Instead, I watched, listened, learned. If she wanted to walk away, I would let her, but on my terms. One night, when she was in the shower, I glanced at her phone left on the counter. No password. She trusted me that much. Or maybe she didn't care anymore. I opened it. There they were. Messages from her boss. Explicit. Careless. Plans about their new life together. Talk of how he could take care of her financially. How she'd never have to settle for less again. And in between the filth, one message that nearly made me collapse. Don't worry about custody. We'll figure out how to make him look unfit. My blood ran cold. It wasn't just betrayal. It was war. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I pulled out my laptop, my hidden drive, my saved documents. I had receipts, bank transfers, screenshots, recordings of her drunken admissions. Everything I had quietly collected over the years when something in my gut told me this day might come. If she thought she could erase me, take my child, and build her fantasy life with her boss on my broken back, she was wrong. 2 weeks later, she packed her bags. She didn't look at me as she carried boxes out the door, her boss's car waiting at the curb. He didn't even bother hiding. She slid into the passenger seat, like she belonged there, not even glancing back at the home we had built together. The door closed behind them, and for the first time in years, the house was quiet. Empty, yes. Lonely, yes. But also free. The next morning, I made the call. To my lawyer. To the bank. To the people who could help me turn the evidence I had into protection. Not just for me, but for my child. Because if she was willing to betray me this deeply, she was capable of far worse. Weeks turned into months. Court dates came and went. Her lawyer tried to paint me as bitter, unstable, broke. But every time, I pulled out another receipt, another recording, another undeniable truth. Piece by piece, her lies unraveled until even the judge couldn't hide his disdain. Her boss, her new boyfriend, stopped showing up to hearings. Rumors spread that his own wife had left him after discovering the affair. His financial security wasn't as solid as she thought. And one cold January afternoon, the final decision came. shared custody, heavily weighted in my favor. She would not strip me of my child. She would not erase me. When the ruling was read, she turned to me, her face pale, her eyes brimming with the first real fear I had ever seen in her. For years, I had been the one afraid of losing her, afraid of being alone, afraid of not being enough. But now, she was the one facing loss. I didn't smile. I didn't gloat. I simply stood, gathered my papers, and walked out courtroom. Because the truth is, I didn't win. There were no winners here. Betrayal doesn't leave trophies. It leaves scars. But I survived. And more importantly, I kept the one thing she couldn't buy, couldn't steal, couldn't replace with a richer man, my role as a father. When I tucked my child into bed that night, listening to the soft rhythm of their breathing, I realized something. Love doesn't crumble in one moment. It erodes slowly, until finally, there's nothing left to save. And when she declared she was leaving for financial reasons, she thought she was trading up, but all she really did was set me free. Sometimes, the cruelest betrayals turn out to be the greatest escapes.